Hi folks, this is Rizwan here and I will be talking about data visualization. If you are watching my video, it means you are fascinating of data science and more specifically visualization on data. Before we go deep dive into the visualization, I will talk about why visualization is important. Visualization is important because it gives a picture worth of 1,000 words. It also conveys the message we want to provide to the stockholders very easily and precisely. It also helps us taking very important business decisions where we can find out different types of patterns on the data and we can get the decision or take the decision very easily. Moreover, it also summarizes or present the overall scenario in a very short, precise manner. Let us visualize very simply but in manual method. So we got this from Khan Academy, and here a doctor is studying on a nutrition collection data where the heights of children in America are measured in one axis and the age is also measured in other axis. So we can see in this one the height is on the y-axis and the age is in the x-axis. We will try to visualize this tabular data on the scatter plot. So let's plot. Here we can see that if a child's age is 5, his height is 1.1. So we can go to 5 and go up to the y-axis and we are seeing 1.1. Then if someone's age is 6, his height should be 1.2. So 6, it should be 1.2 here. If someone's age is 8, that's 1.3. I will speed up the process here. Height is 1.5. So here, do you see a pattern? So the pattern I can see, it's a positive, it's going up in a positive way. If someone's age is 5, his height is low, and if someone's age is higher, his height is going higher. So we can predict that if someone's age is 13 or 14, even though we don't have the data, we can predict that his height will be at around 1.6 or 2, somewhere up there. So this is how we can take a decision if we need some particular task of our business or not. Now let's talk about the visualization. We need to install Seaborn, which we can install in Jupyter Notebook. I believe you already have all the important elements you need to install. We will create a new Jupyter Notebook here. We already have our Seaborn installed. If we want to install Seaborn, go to an Anaconda navigator, and from there we will install Seaborn. Let it run. Launch this CMD prompt, and there Conda install Seaborn. If you press enter, it should install Seaborn in your system. If you need a video on how to install Jupyter Notebook or Anaconda, I will create a video on that, but I believe you already install everything. Now let's jump into the system. I have divided the Seaborn libraries into 3 main parts. One is relational plot, second is distribution plot, another one is categorical plot. We will see one by one in our future videos, but today I will be talking about scatter plots as a relational plot. First of all, we need to import Seaborn as SNS. This is standard in data science. There's some other libraries we also need to import. Those are import matplotlib. I will speed up the process here so that we can move. After importing these libraries, there are some predefined datasets in Seaborn. Let's find out what are the datasets we can use from the Seaborn. So for that one, we will write print and then SNS dot get. So if I press tab, it gives me suggestion get dataset names. If I press, sorry, it should give me the name. So we got, these are the predefined data sets into Seaborn. The shortcut for creating a new cell in Jupyter Notebook is escape B. I will speed up the process here so that we can move on. These are a bunch of dataset which comes with Seaborn by default. We will be working with a couple of datasets later on, but for now I will be showing you how to load those dataset. Suppose for example we are loading car crash dataset. Let's try to see other datasets, the dataset of tips. Let's see how that looks. Let's go to create a data frame, SNS dot load dataset, and then we'll put tips. So it will load the tips data frame and see the head. It is giving me total bill, tip, sex, smoker, day, time and size. So from this dataset, what I can understand, on a particular table, on a particular time and day, there are non-smoker female person who is tipping $1.1 or pound, where the total bill was 17 pounds. And I can understand what's going on, so we can try to visualize some of the bits and pieces from this data set. We can also explore some other data sets, but for today's video we can work on this data set. Let's try to visualize relational plot where we can see, is there any relation between total bill with the tips? So how we can do that is we will call Seaborn, we will plot it in a relational plot, a rel plot. First we need to provide the where the dataset would be. So the dataset is tips. Then we will provide the x-axis. So we know the x-axis is total bill, total bill. The y-axis would be tip, and let's see how does this look. Okay, so here we can see that if the total bill is higher, the tips is also getting higher. That means if we can see on this scatter plot, if we see this scatter plot, we can understand that there is a relationship between the total bill and the tip. If bill is higher, the tip is also getting higher. It means it is a positive relation between two of the elements of this dataset. This is actually a two-dimensional visualization. So here I can see only total bill and tip, that's it. If we want to use like third dimension, we can use style or hue. If I put hue as, okay, so I want to know who have provided highest tips. Maybe I want to see this in the other dimension as sex. Here I can see the females were less as of the dataset. I can understand that the males have provided the highest tip and highest total bill. The males were dominating while paying the dinner. We can also add fourth dimension here by using style. So probably we can add a fourth dimension. So if we want to see how many non-smoker has given tips or how much of the tips they have provided, so I can put style. To add a third or fourth dimension, we can use style on our data set. So that would be smoker. So look here, it's very nice. It's showing very nicely that where there is cross, it means that person is not a smoker. If it is round, it means yes, he is a smoker. So here we can see that there were most of the people who are non-smoker, and there are a couple of people those who are smoker, and they were also paying good amount of tips. We can understand this scenario just by using one line of the code.
Thank you very much and see you later.